I'm Alex. I'm with Racom Business, and I'm here with Steve, the solutions consultant with Arcserve. We're going to go through a few questions to better understand Arcserve and its products. So, Steve, thanks for joining us here today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, just a few questions. We were just hoping to get out there so people understand Arcserve better, their benefits, and we go from there. So I'll kind of go right into it. And to start, what would you say the benefits are of continuous versus traditional backup when it comes to Arcserve?
Yeah, so the product that we have, one of the many ones, is Arcserve Continuous Availability. It was formerly named Arcserve Replication and High Availability, but that is a component, a solution that performs high availability and replication. So how does that differ from traditional backup? A traditional backup is really a point-in-time picture of data that you need to protect. So that's one thing. But continuous availability takes it to a whole nother level in terms of recovery point objective, recovery time objective, and how fast you need the data available and how far back you need to go. So in the continuous availability world, you're really looking at the protection of live data, meaning if something goes down, if a server goes down or data is unavailable, fail over and make that data actionable right away. So they are two different concepts, point-in-time protection of data versus the protection of live data and making it actionable. So they are kind of apples and oranges, but the benefits of continuous availability is the minimizing of any downtime and disruption and making that data available and actionable for people rather than having to go back in time to a historical point and having that data loss depending on how far back we go. So uptime is the big thing.
Absolutely. That's ideal for any situation, for any company. And that's why we constantly promote Arcserve to our customers, just for them, for that reason, just alone. Yeah. So, Steve, does Arcserve's continuous availability offer benefits over its competitors?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. For one, the continuous availability product supports all different platforms, so physical machines, virtual machines. It supports Windows, Linux, and Unix, so a very broad spectrum of support, different hypervisor platforms, including cloud like Azure or Amazon EC2 to perform the replication and high availability to a number of different targets. So that's one of the biggest strong suits because some vendors, they might only focus on virtual. Some can't do Unix. Others are more expensive. Other competitors are more expensive than others, and some can't do what we can in terms of failing over and failing back and doing that in an automated fashion rather than manually having to do that. And, others have the lack of centralized management, so the administration of it is a lot more difficult. But we wrap that all into one and make it a complete solution that makes it easy to administer and perform the high availability functions.
Absolutely. How would you say Arcserve's continuous availability differs from RAID?
Well, if you think about RAID is more often than not a hardware protection at the disk level of a system. Can be software also, but you're really dealing with the resiliency of a set of disks. So if a disk fails, one of the other disks can make up for the failure and continue operation. So that's one thing, but continuous availability is really a different animal in that if the server dies, it fails, it may or may not be disk related. So our software can provide that application monitoring to where if something fails, could be the network, could be something other than the disk. So you're able to fail over and fail back to another system and continue your operations. The disk redundancy doesn't, you're not going to fail over to another machine, the server itself, if the disk fails and more than one of them fail, then the server's out of luck. So the idea of being able to fail over to another system and continue operations, it's really kind of a different, it's a different concept and a different level of protection.
I'd say this is very crucial to lots of businesses and especially to a lot of our customers.
Yeah.
So Steve,
Sure.
how is Arcserve's continuous availability offered in real time versus near real time?
So when you think of high availability, it's all based upon replication. So to be able to fail over and fail back to a machine, applications, data, or whatever you want to do, the data has to move from site A to site B somehow, and that's based upon replication. So our solution is software based. We're not a hardware. Our continuous availability solution isn't a hardware solution; it's software. So in that sense, we would be considered near real time versus a real time replication of the data. So I would say near real time. We are hardware agnostic. We are software, so we can reside on a number of different abstractions, whether it's hypervisor, different, like what we mentioned before, different hypervisors, physical machines, virtual, it doesn't matter. So, but to answer the question, we consider ourselves a near real-time replication technology at the software level.
And very general question, but I think extremely important is what makes Arcserve so unique?
Well, Arcserve as a company, I mean, what stands out the most is that we've been around the block. We've been in the industry for decades, going back to the early '80s. So when it comes to data protection, we are we're the leader in the industry. Our experience, the knowledge of data protection is really second to none. For continuous availability, we've had this solution going back to the late '90s, so we're not new to this. We've done it for a long time, and we really know what we're doing. And we're respected in the industry, and it's proven by how many, we have thousands of customers, large and small, enterprise, the mom and pop SMB, anywhere in between. So where the environments that we can protect with the solutions and some of the things we mentioned before, it really sets us apart. But one thing that really makes the solution, the Arcserve solution, unique is that the high availability component that we have, what we do, the continuous availability solution, is bundled and integrated into the Arcserve Unified Data Protection solution. That's our image-based backup product. So being able to do that, that allows companies or organizations to perform, but to manage the data protection, whether that's backup, replication, high availability, disaster recovery, all of that stuff from one unified console and one organization. So you're handling all of those data protection needs from one vendor, and that's that's unique, and there's not that many people out there that can do it. And even if they can, at a price point that is affordable and has all the features that we have. So I'd say in general, that's what I would say.
I have to say, I mean, being so hands-on with the customer, regardless of being a small to large enterprise account, I mean, you treat each customer so well, and I mean, the product alone is great, but I mean, the people are what really make the product. So, Steve, thank you for your time. Thank you for answering these questions. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.